Hello, sports fans. We are ready for NFL picks for week number 11 in the league where they play for pay. And let's get right to it. You're going to have to bear with me here. I'm losing my voice. I did so much ranting about sports last week that I'm starting to lose my voice. So try and bear with me. Week number 11, let's get it going. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Hopefully there'll be a good Thursday night game. This is a good matchup on paper, but every Thursday night game so far has been a blowout. Every single one has been, not competitive, including last week. One of the two teams has checked out early every single Thursday night. It's been bad football on Thursday night. This game on paper, like I said, looks like a good matchup. The Seattle Seahawks at home, -2.5 against the Green Bay Packers. Seattle down to 4-5. Lost a tough game to the Rams. They were in this game the whole way. Battled to the end, just couldn't get it done. So Seattle drops to 4-5. Green Bay up to 4-1. Beat Miami. Had to have it. Had to have it. Had to have it. They couldn't afford to lose to Miami. Got the job done. It's a very interesting game. I can't believe they're making Green Bay travel to Seattle on a short week. I just don't understand it. They did this to Minnesota earlier in the year. They made Minnesota on a short week travel to the Rams to play Thursday night football. Minnesota played on Sunday, had basically Monday to recover, and Tuesday they flew out, to Los Angeles. That's ridiculous. I don't know what Green Bay's travel plans are. This is a long trip. Having said that, I'm still going to move the line to 8.5 and take Green Bay. I know it's a little risky. Most of the home teams win on Thursday night, and a lot of the Thursday night games, if not all of them, have been blowouts one way or the other. I probably won't bet this game, but for purposes of the show, move the line to 8.5. Take Green Bay. You got to respect Rodgers enough to at least keep the game close. Green Bay and Seattle have a long history together. A lot of tough battles recently. I think this game will be close. First time all Thursday we're going to get a close game, hopefully. So I will take Green Bay plus 8.5 in what should be a good competitive game, an important game in the NFC as well. Pick number 2. Let's go down to hot Atlanta, where it's cold Atlanta again, with the Atlanta Falcons a -3.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. Atlanta down to 4-5, got run over by the Browns. Let me say it again. They got run over by the Cleveland Browns. Atlanta had won 3 in a row. They were playing much better football. They blew out Washington. They were getting back in the race in the division and the NFC. If they would have won this game, they'd be only a game behind Carolina, who lost. And what do? They got run over by the Browns, who hadn't won a game in a month, and fired their coach. The Browns ran all over Atlanta. Atlanta could not stop the run. I think the Browns had 500 yards rushing or something like that. Terrible loss by the Falcons. Dallas, they had a nice win. They're up to 4-5, beat Philadelphia on the road, saved their season at least temporarily. They had the bad loss on Monday Night Football, like I talked about, last week. Rebounded nicely against one of their division rivals, beat the Eagles on the road. Elliott was awesome. When Elliott gets going, Dallas is very hard to beat. He had a tremendous game. Dallas forced some turnovers, did some good things on defense. Nice rebound win for the Cowboys. I have to move this line to 9.5 and take Dallas. Atlanta couldn't stop the Cleveland Brown rushing attack. How are they going to stop Elliott? I will take Dallas. The game should be close. Move it to 9.5. Most of the spreads this week are about 3.5 or lower. There's only a couple that are high. Most of these games are going to be close. So if I can get Dallas 9.5, I feel very comfortable that way. That's pick number 2. By the way, there are 6 teams with a bye this week. I'll get to them periodically. Buffalo has a bye this week. They're up to 3-7. Just blew out the Jets. A terrible loss by the Jets. We'll get to them in a second. Nice win by Buffalo. They came to play in that game. Matt Barkley looked good, believe it or not. So Buffalo with a bye. Pick number 3. Let's go down to New Orleans. The Superdome. The Big Easy. Fat Tuesday. Mardi Gras. Who dat? I said, who dat? Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? Who dat? The New Orleans Saints are on absolute fire. -7.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Saints up to 8-1, blew out Cincinnati. The Saints just can do no wrong right now. They look like one of the best teams in football, if not the best team in football. Never thought they'd be this good. They're doing a great job, New Orleans. Philadelphia down to 4-5, lost to Dallas at home. Philadelphia just cannot get out of its own way this year. They're stuck in a quagmire. Just when you think they're going to put something together, they lose. They don't look good. Not entirely surprising. They did win the Super Bowl. Wentz was hurt at the beginning of the year. They haven't had Sproles. They lost Ajayi for the year. All sorts of injuries on defense, especially in the secondary. Not entirely a surprise the Eagles are struggling. They're stuck in a quagmire. They can't get anything going. And you don't want to be in a quagmire when you go down to New Orleans, because they'll run you right off the field. I'll take New Orleans here, move the line to 1.5 in a 2-team teaser. I got to think the Saints are going to win. I really do. How could you think the Eagles, after what you've seen this year, are going to go into New Orleans and beat the Saints? Can't see it happening. Eagles, I mean, they'll be lucky to stay in this game, and I'll move the line to 1.5. So I'll take the Saints here. Saints should roll. New Orleans is pick number 3. Cleveland also with a bye this week. They're up to 3-6-1. They beat Atlanta, like I mentioned before. Played well, ran the ball very well. So Cleveland with a bye. Pick number 4. Really good game here. Very important division game here. Let's go to Soldier Field in Chicago, the Windy City, with the Chicago Bears, the monsters of the Midway. A -3 against the Purple People Eaters, the Minnesota Vikings. Bears up to 6-3, beat up Detroit. Minnesota 5-3-1, coming off a bye. This is for first place. This is a must-watch game in the black and blue division. Very tough game again. Again, the spread is 3. Again, I'll move the line. I'll move it to 9. Take the Vikings. This is a field goal game either way. This game is going to be close throughout. Almost impossible to pick a winner. But with 9, I certainly like the Vikings. It's got to be close. I'll take Minnesota here, +9. Like I said, the game is a 3-pointer either way. It's coming down to the wire. This is a must-watch game, a very important game in the NFC. Minnesota, +9. Pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go to Indianapolis, where the Indianapolis Colts are -2.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Indianapolis up to 4-5, beat Jacksonville. How about the Colts? I mean, they're all of a sudden up to 4-5. If they didn't muck up that game against Houston and took the tie, they'd be 4-4-1 in a game out of the division. That was a bad decision. It might come back to haunt them in the end for a playoff spot. So the Colts are playing much better up to 4-5. Speaking of playing much better, the Tennessee Titans are up to 5-4. They blew out New England. I mean, they just demolished New England. Tennessee is such a flaky team. When you jump on them and think they're going to win, they fall flat on their face. When you forget about them, they have a performance like this. They beat Dallas on the road, come back and blow out New England. Yet they lost to Buffalo and got demolished by Baltimore. Couldn't do anything against Baltimore at home. Very flaky team, Tennessee. They got guts, they got grit. You just don't know what you're going to get from them week in, week out. They're a tough team to predict. Colts at home, -2.5 against Tennessee. I'll move the line to 8.5 and take the Titans. There's another one of these games that could go either way. But the way Tennessee's been playing the last couple weeks, beat Dallas, beat New England, beat them both by double digits. You have to love them with 8.5 here. So I'll think the game is close again, but I'll take the Titans +8.5. That's pick number 5. Miami Dolphins with a bye this week. They're 5-5. Lost to Green Bay. Still no Tannehill. Miami's going in the opposite direction after the hot start. Pick number 6. Let's go down to D.C. with the Houston Texans, a -3 against the Washington Redskins. Houston 6-3 off a bye. They've won 6 in a row. They're in first place. Washington 6-3, also in first place, beat Tampa Bay. Again, move the line to 9 and take Washington. You get Washington and the home field. 2 first place teams going at it. What I'd like to see down there in D.C. is a full house. A big crowd, a crowd that gets behind their team. Attendance has been a little light in Washington. You know, Washington for years had big crowds down there in that big stadium. Attendance has been a little down for their standards. They were the team in D.C. for decades. Light crowds in D.C. The crowds have also been not behind the team so much. They're always waiting for the bottom to drop out, kind of like Detroit. I want a big crowd down there in D.C. Get fired up. Your team is playing hard. Your team is in first place. They have a 2-game lead in division. Let's get a huge crowd down there. Get behind the team. Don't get down on them when something goes wrong. Let's start supporting this Washington club. They're playing hard. They're playing well. I'll take Washington +9. Again, I think the game is close. So I'll go Washington. That's pick number 6. New England with a bye. They're down to 6-3. They got blown out by Tennessee. Even the best teams in the league get blown out, and that's what happened in New England. They have a bye. You can be sure they'll regroup when they come back to playing. So New England with a bye. Pick number 7. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here with the New York Football Giants, a -1.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Giants got their 2nd win of the year in San Francisco. Odell Beckham played well. He made sure he got on camera too, and maybe this is not the right time to pick on Odell Beckham and the Giants because they did win a game. But Odell Beckham, after he scores a touchdown, he's giving you one of these. They go to commercial, he's on the sidelines. He's still doing this. I mean, he got his money's worth with the celebrations. I was laughing even before that. Early in the game, the Niners are up, I think, 3-0. The Giants get an interception. They run in the end zone, and they're taking like a team photo. I mean, the Giants got 1 win, okay, going into the game. They get an interception down 3-0 against the Niners, who are equally awful, and they're doing a team photo. A little much, Giants, and I know you won. Maybe it's not the time to pick on you. Settle down. And Odell Beckham, by the way, said the Giants can make a playoff run. I won't even address that. Giants 1.5-point favorite at home against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay down to 3-6, lost to Washington. Fitzpatrick threw for over 400 yards and Tampa scored 3 points. Is that even possible? Tampa pulled it off. This game is a mess. I mean, this game is a total disaster. For purposes of the show, I'll pick it. I'll move the line to 7.5 and take Tampa Bay because I don't think the Giants are capable of blowing anybody out. This is a mucky, ugly, just sloppy game. I'll move the line to 7.5 and take Tampa Bay, but it's not a game I'm going to be paying too much attention to. I don't think you will be either. Tampa Bay +7.5. That's pick number 7. I just mentioned San Francisco. They're also off a bye. They lost to the Giants at home last night. Just terrible. So the Niners, it's just all falling apart for them this year. Once they lost the quarterback, all downhill for the Niners. They are on a bye as well. Pick number 8. Let's go to Los Angeles with the LA Chargers, a -7 against the Denver Broncos. Denver down to 3-6. They were on a bye this week, actually, coming off the tough loss to Houston where they missed a field goal at the end. Chargers up to 7-2, beat Oakland, struggled early, pulled away late. The Chargers are legit. They're only a game behind the Chiefs in the division. Chiefs got the Rams this week, could lose. Chargers should take care of business here. Chargers could be tied for first at the end of this week, and they still got to play Kansas City one more time. In Arrowhead, the Chiefs already beat the Chargers in Los Angeles, so the Chiefs would still have the tiebreaker. Chargers are a legitimate team. They have a lot of talent, and like I said, when they get Bosa back, even better. I'll move the line to 1 and take the Chargers. I cannot see Denver winning here on the road, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of Denver fans at the StubHub Center. Chargers have no home field advantage. That being said, the Chargers are just better than Denver. Move the line to 1, take the Chargers. You should do well there. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Oh, no. My bags are packed, Trip. Here we go. The Arizona Cardinals are at home, -3.5 against the Oakland Raiders. Oh, my bags are packed. I'm sorry to pick on the Cardinals. I've had a couple road trips with the Cardinals this year where I've said my bags are packed. I should get a permanent suite in Arizona because they have a lot of awful games. Not only is Arizona bad, but they played a lot of bad teams themselves. They played the Niners twice in their own division. Oakland 1-8, lost to the Chargers. Defense tried to keep them in the game. Offense did nothing. Just pathetic by Oakland. Arizona 2-7, lost to Kansas City. Listen, at least Arizona shows me some effort, other than the Thursday night game, which they didn't show up against Denver. Arizona at least competed against Kansas City. Oakland, they can't score. They can't do anything. I'll move the line to even, maybe money line, and take Arizona. Again, a game I won't play with my own money, but for purposes of the show, money line, I'll take Arizona. Oakland just doesn't look like they can beat anybody right now. So Arizona is pick number 9. Pick number 10. Let's go down to Jacksonville with Pittsburgh Steelers on -5.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh up to 6-2-1, blew out Carolina. Pittsburgh's on fire. Bell looks like he won't come back. They don't seem to miss him right now. Connor is playing well. Connor should play this week coming off the concussion. Pittsburgh's been on fire. Jacksonville 3-6. They've fallen apart. Lost to Indianapolis. They can't even stop anyone on defense now. It's unbelievable how bad Jacksonville is playing. Fournette, where are you? He's been out like 2 months with a hamstring. Jacksonville's lost 5 in a row. Oh my goodness. Jacksonville usually plays Pittsburgh tough. They beat them twice last year. History of beating the Steelers, but I can't like them here. I can't like them. The Steelers are hot. Jacksonville's not. The Steelers are trending up. Jacksonville's trending down. Maybe play this game in a money line. You got to think the Steelers are going to get through here. I can't trust Jacksonville. They're not showing me enough. Pittsburgh is pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go to, this is the game in Mexico, by the way, on Monday night, with the LA Rams are -2.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the game of the week in Mexico City. By the way, let's put a game everywhere. Let's put a game in London. Let's put a game in Mexico. Let's put a game in China. Let's put a game in Australia. Let's put a game on the moon. Let's put a game in Saturn. Put a game anywhere and everywhere. Now we have a game in Mexico City. There'll be a big crowd there. Should be, I guess, a Ram house. The Rams are so close to Mexico City. Should be a Ram house. They'll get a big crowd. They'll be into it down there. LA Rams -2.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Rams 9-1 beat Seattle. I want to see a little more from that Ram defense, especially the secondary. They're giving up too many points for my liking. But I'm nitpicking. They're still a solid team, still a contender for the Super Bowl. Kansas City 9-1 beat Arizona. I think the over and under in this game is like 67 or something like that. Highest over and under in the history of the NFL. I'm going to move the line to 8.5 and take the Chiefs. I think this is a wild one. I think this is 38-35 somebody. Both teams slinging it all over the field. Both teams will give up points. Both teams a little light in their secondary. I think it's close either way. Hard to pick a winner, so I'll take the Chiefs plus 8.5 there in Mexico City. That's pick number 11. We have 2 more picks to go. The last team on a bye, the New York Jets. New York Jets down to 3-7, lost to Buffalo. What was the score? 100-10. Nice performance by the Jets at home. What kind of performance was that by the New York Jets? They made Matt Barkley out to be Jim Kelly. Are you kidding me, Jets? Oh my goodness. And I don't want to hear that Donald was hurt. I mean, he wasn't playing well to begin with. The Jets were awful in this game. Bad quarterback play, terrible defense. They didn't even show up. And by the way, I've seen enough from Todd Bowles. And I liked when the Jets hired him. He had a nice first season. He's done nothing since. The Jets the last 3 years, 5-11, 5-11, 3-7. Bowles in his career, 23-35. And then you hear Bowles in the post game. You know, and he's so like casual about it. No fire or energy from him. You know, we win some games, we lose some games. Win some games, lose some games. No, you lose most of your games, Bowles. The Jets don't win some, lose some. They lose most of them. That's been their track record now. It's pretty much been their track record since Namath won the Super Bowl. I mean, my goodness, Bowles, you win some, you lose some? I wish Bowles would get fiery. I wish he'd yell at somebody. He's too calm sometimes. Yeah, I don't worry about my job security. Well, you don't have to worry about it because you're going to be fired, Bowles. I laugh. I know a bunch of Jet fans, and they were telling me years ago when Brady got hurt that year Castle filled in. that the baton had been passed to the New York Jets. The baton had been passed to the New York Jets. If the Jets had a baton passed to them, they'd drop it, fumble it, kick it, and lose it. And then hand it back to New England. A baton was passed to the Jets? What baton was this? I mean, my friends that said that should have, somebody should take a baton and hit them over the head for that. I mean, what are you talking about? The baton was handed to the Jets? How did that work out the last few years? When New England's winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl and having great year after great year, and the Jets can't even get out of their way again. 5-11, 5-11, 3-7 this year. And the Jets won their first game, and you thought they were going to do some things this year. And they've fallen again flat on their face. And listen, Sports Illustrated picked them to go 10-6. I said they were out of their mind. They're playing a rookie quarterback. But when you don't show up against Buffalo, that is an indictment not only on the players but the head coach. That was a pathetic performance by the Jets. Bulls can go too. All right, pick number 12. There's no spread on this game. Baltimore at home against Cincinnati. Baltimore's 4-5 coming off a bye. We don't know about Flacco. Jackson made quarterback, so who knows there. Cincinnati down to 5-4. Blown out by New Orleans. Green out again. Marvin Lewis can go. They fired their defensive coordinator, so now Lewis becomes not only he's the head coach, and he's going to take over the defensive coordinator job. Lewis, he can be fired as head coach and defensive coordinator. I've seen enough of Lewis. He's got to go too. If Flacco plays, I'll take Baltimore. They're home. They have to win this game. I'll take Baltimore there if Flacco plays. If he doesn't, it's a throwout. Pick number 13, the final pick. Let's go to Detroit with the Carolina Panthers, a -3.5 against the Detroit Lions. Carolina down to 6-3, got blown out by Pittsburgh. Detroit down to 3-6, they got blown out by Chicago. Detroit went up to 3-3 a few weeks ago. They blew out Miami. Since then, they got bombed by Seattle, bombed by Minnesota, bombed by Chicago. Same old Lions. Bottom has fallen out of the team yet again. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. The bottom always falls out. I'll move the line to money line and take Carolina. I can't trust Detroit. They've shown me nothing the last 3 weeks. Nothing at all. So I'll take Carolina. They're going to be angry. They're going to want to bounce back in a big way off the humiliating loss. Carolina bounces back. They beat Detroit. I'd look money line there. Those are your picks for week number 11. Thanks so much for bearing with me. My voice is going, as you can hear. Thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Enjoy the games. Take care.